I have a question for you. Is church essential? Think about that for a moment. Is church, the church that Jesus established, is it essential? One of the things we've noticed through this entire season of sheltering in place and the restrictions and orders that have been placed on everyone, and how different states, even the state of California, has determined that they will reopen. One of the things that seems to be very obvious is to our government, church has not been considered essential. But for you and I, we have to determine either it is essential or it is not. And in my opinion, the church that Jesus said he would establish was not a church that would just have no impact on a community, no impact on the spirit and life and the heart of a community, and no impact on people. Jesus established a church to be essential, to be the voice in the community, to be a place of healing, to be a place of gathering, to be a place of impact. And in my opinion, the church is essential. Today, the day of this taping, on Thursday at 1 o'clock in Riverside County, there's a press conference that's taking place. At that press conference, there are pastors and leaders representing over 300 churches in the state of California, and the total of their outreach is 2.5 million Californians. Though I could not be there, I'm joining in this. Because what's taken place is churches, pastors of great significance and of large congregation have reached out to our governor, Gavin Newsom, and have not received a response back. There are two conservative representatives in the state of California who have also tried to reach out to him without response. Here's the reason that these organizations, these churches, and this press conference is being held, is we are asking our governor to understand that church is an essential service. And being an essential service, we're asking the governor to move the church and the opening of churches from phase 3, which could be as far away as September, October, November, or even the beginning of next year. We have asked the governor to declare the church essential and to move it into the phase 2 of reopening, which will begin tomorrow and Monday. Basically, what these voices that I have joined with are saying is open the doors. The church is essential. Besides what has happened physically because of the virus, think of the increase of other things. The increase of child abuse, domestic violence, alcoholism, suicide, hopelessness, poverty, all of those things. And the idea is the government isn't given the responsibility to help those with that kind of need. That's always been the responsibility of the people who know the solution to life's problems. And that's us as followers of Jesus Christ. This state, the state of California, in my opinion, is like no other state in the Union. And one of the uniquenesses of this state is whether you go from the Mexican border all the way up to the Oregon border, you will know that across this state, it is marked with the brand and the identity of Christianity and of faith. Every city, every road, every monument, and every building that you see that has the word San attached to it, it's named for a saint, somebody who served God. So this state is marked with Saint Diego, Saint Barbara, Saint Leandro, Saint Jose, Saint San Francisco, Saint Andreas, and even the capital of this city, Sacramento, is named after the holy sacrament of communion. So whether or not our political officials think that faith and that the church is essential, it's too late for them to make that decision because the state has already been marked with the essential mark of the church and of faith in God. So I'm joining with other churches, other leaders, a few in this area, but across the state, and I'm saying open the doors. Allow us not to cast off restraint, not to frivolously allow people to do whatever. No, we'll follow the CDC guidelines. We'll have available masks and gloves, hand sanitizers. We won't have children's ministry when we begin. We'll make people socially distance. If they come as a family, they can sit together. If not, we're going to ask them to distance. But open the doors. It's time for that to happen. Because whether or not government officials acknowledge that God factors into anything that helps and benefits people and have eliminated the church as essential, we believe, and I think you agree with me, that the church is essential. It's an essential service. And the church can begin already to gather together where they encourage one another, help one another, where we pray for people, where we show them and teach them they have hope, and then send them out as beacons of light to share what they have done, what God's done in their life to help other people. Open the doors. As a part of this movement, not only is there the demand made of the governor to make churches essential and allow them to begin opening up in this second phase. It's very interesting that in a few weeks from now, on May the 31st, Sunday, that it is the celebration of Pentecost. Fascinating, isn't it, that the church was born on the day of Pentecost, Acts 2, when the day of Pentecost had arrived. They were in the upper room. The church was birthed on Pentecost. I think it's time the church be rebirthed on Pentecost. And the target for myself and these churches and many other who will join is Sunday, May the 31st, the church needs to reopen. We need to open the doors. I'm going to ask you to do something. I'm going to ask you, you can Google the information. I want you to reach out to the governor's office. I want you to email. I want you to call. You can fax. You can actually go to Gavin Newsom's Twitter account, Facebook, Instagram, and message him. I want you to encourage. Don't be nasty. Don't be egregious, but tell him the church is essential to you and to the community, and tell him to open the doors. Allow churches to be a part of the second phase of opening so that we can come back, so that we can do what is the mandate for us. The mandate from God overrides any mandate of man, and the guarantee of our Constitution overrides any overbearance from local governance. So pray with me if you would. Support us if you would. Listen, if you're 65 and older, or you have a compromised health, or you don't feel comfortable in coming out, don't. We're not forcing, we're not condemning anybody who doesn't. We are saying, though, that it's time to open the doors. And in time, I know others who may feel a little uneasy yet, maybe even some that are sick. In time, you'll be back in and you'll join. But to me, and praying a lot about this, and seeking God about this, I say it, and I say it clearly. Governor Newsom, open the doors. It's time for the church to be acknowledged as an essential service in the state of California.